Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, those joining us through iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Broadcast, we're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our Music and Youth segment here at WYAD, and today we're talking about your heart health. One of the things we've talked about, especially over the past couple of years, is sometimes it becomes necessary for individuals to get a pacemaker. If you've heard about individuals getting a pacemaker or curious about what it is and exactly what it does, our next guest definitely will be able to help you, as well as to talk to us about some new advancements. We're excited to welcome Dr. Kowal to our broadcast. He's going to not only discuss with you guys about the function of a pacemaker, but also about the world's smallest pacemaker that is now FDA approved, and where you guys can go to be able to find out more information as well. Dr. Kowal, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
My pleasure. Glad to be with you.
Well, here in the South, we are always talking about things dealing with our heart health. And, of course, as I mentioned in the intro, sometimes that means an individual has to get a pacemaker. For those who may not be familiar, though, Dr. Kowal, why don't we start there? What exactly is a pacemaker, and what does it do?
So simply put, a pacemaker is a battery-powered electronic device that sits in your body and can stimulate the heart, so that if your heart rate is too low and you're limited by that, it can get your heart rate back to normal so that you can kind of function back to normal again.
Okay. All right. And so for our audience that may be thinking about, okay, is this something maybe right for me? We had a health scare with my father this year, Dr. Kowal, where he was having some issues, and that was one thing that was being considered, was if he was going to need a pacemaker. What are the signs that someone may need a pacemaker?
It's a great question, and they can be varied. So on one end, they can be quite severe. Someone who passes out, hurts themselves, breaks their arm, maybe even crashes a car because the heart rate is too slow and they lose consciousness. On the other end, it can be really subtle. Something as simple as being a bit more fatigued or short of breath. For example, I had a patient once who hobby was gardening and gradually lost the ability to do that because just got too tired, came to me at a heart rate of about 25. And just for reference, sitting around, our heart rate should be about 60 to 70 and go up with exercise. And so when we actually put a pacemaker in, he was back to normal and could go back to gardening again because his heart rate was back where it needed to be.
Amazing. That's why conversations like this are so important. One of the things we've known is that there have been a lot of medical advancements over the years, Dr. Kowal, and that has also been true when it comes to pacemakers. Tell us about the latest update when it comes to the world's smallest pacemaker.
Yeah, no, this is certainly true. And to just put to some perspective, when pacers first were invented by Medtronic, 60 years ago, they were the size of a hockey puck, huge. They'd go in the chest, very disruptive, and had a battery life of, let's say, 3 to 4 years. Fast forward to now, a more traditional pacemaker that sits under the skin in the chest with wires in the heart is the size of an Oreo cookie, about 10 times smaller and significantly more battery life. What we're talking about that we've developed at Medtronic is the Micra leadless pacer, which is another 10 times smaller, now the size of a vitamin tablet, and it's so small that it doesn't have to be under the skin. It can be placed directly in the heart. And our latest advances that we just released are to make that device, even though it's that small, last about 17 years.
Well, that's incredible, and it really does show the advancements that have been made. So the size is one thing, and Dr. Kowal, what are the benefits of the Micra leadless pacemakers, and what should our audience know about that?
Yeah, so a couple of things. The most obvious one is if I don't have to have a device under the skin in my chest, I don't have a scar, I don't have a bump from the device, I don't even know it's there, I just feel better. So there's that well-being and cosmetic piece. In addition, because there isn't that piece of metal under the skin, the device, or the leads, we dramatically reduce or almost eliminate the risk of infection of the device. And we remove all the side effects related to having a device under the skin or the wires. And so even though pacemakers are very safe and have low complication rates, the leadless pacemaker cuts those complication rates in half yet again. And so there are a variety of benefits that you get when you get something that small directly in the heart.
We know that not everything works for everyone, though. I mean, is there something that our audience should know then, Dr. Kowal, when it comes to considering if there's something that is right for them versus the traditional pacemaker?
Yeah, no, great perspective. If you look at all patients who need a pacemaker, about half of them could be eligible for the Micra leadless pacemaker. And I think the key then is to sit with you, if you need a pacemaker, to sit with your physician and talk about the options. Everybody is different, and I think the key to feeling your best is to make sure you match the device to your needs. And I think that's the most important thing you can do, is sit with your doctor and get that kind of mutual discussion to get to the best option available. I think from our standpoint, the key is to give your physician multiple options so that you can feel your best.
Dr. Kowal, this is great information for our audience, and I know that for those either who are wondering if they may need a pacemaker or may be considering options, this is great for them to be able to know. Again, everyone, Dr. Rob Kowal has been our guest, talking to you guys about the advancements that have been made, again, with the FDA-approved new smallest pacemaker now that is available for you all to be able to consider. Dr. Kowal, where can our audience go for more information?
So our website, medtronic.com/Micra, M-I-C-R-A, gives a lot of information about the current device, the history of its development. It also has information about more traditional pacemakers as well. And then again, once you get that kind of information, having a good conversation with your physician about which device is best for you is going to be the key to getting the most you can get out of these devices.
And we'll make sure that we link that up for our audience. Again, Dr. Kowal, thank you for the great work you're doing and for the time today. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Again, part of our Music and Youth segment here at WYAD. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's go make today amazing. Take care.